A world-famous rapper, a mogul in the music industry, and a magnet for controversy, apparently. Now that's Diddy these days in a nutshell. Behind the face he's got in the eye of the public lies a tangled web of feuds, scandals, and bitter rivalries. From explosive fights with fellow artists to allegations of shady business dealings. Diddy's life has been anything but smooth sailing, especially recently. But what drives these conflicts, and who are the major enemies of rapper P. Diddy? Now, Wendy Williams, a famous media personality, once stirred up quite a storm when she talked about Diddy's sexuality. Now, she made some pretty bold claims on her radio show about Diddy being gay. Now, whether those claims are true or not, well, that's up for debate. But here's the thing. After Wendy spilled the tea about Diddy, there were rumors flying around that he had something to do with her getting the boot from Hot 97, the radio station where she was working at the time. It's like she say something he didn't like, and poof, she gone and out of there. Now we can't say for sure if Diddy had a hand in it, but people talked, you know? And then there's this whole wild story about an altercation between Diddy's girl group, Total, and Wendy Williams. Now apparently, Total was signed to Diddy's label, Bad Boy Records, and they weren't too happy with what Wendy was saying about their boss. So the story goes that they showed up at the radio station where Wendy worked, ready to confront her. Which brings us down to Drake. Okay, but did y'all know that Diddy and Drake got into an actual physical fight? So they was both at a party at this popular nightclub called Live. Now it was probably packed with all kinds of celebs and VIPs. Anyway, things took a turn when Diddy supposedly invited Drake outside for a chat. Now next thing you know, there's some pushing and some shoving, and Drake ends up getting punched 3 times. Ouch, to say the least, man. So why the fight? Well, it's all about a song. See, there's this track called 0 to 100 by Drake, and apparently Diddy had some beef with it. Now he claimed that the beat for the song was originally his, and somehow Drake ended up using it without giving him credit. And talk about a mix-up. But here's the thing, Diddy denied ever throwing punches at Drake. According to him, there was no brawl. He said it was all just a misunderstanding over the song. To add insult to injury, Diddy even mentioned that he sent the beat to Drake so he could help him out with his songwriting. And since then, Drake's been one of the biggest Diddy haters, even with all the recent cases against Diddy. Now Drake's been throwing quite some shade on Diddy, calling out his parties and labeling Diddy as an abuser. But is it as dramatic as the feud with Suge Knight? Man, I could talk about this for days. So, the rivalry between Diddy and Suge was pretty intense. Now, they was both big players in the music industry, but they had some very different styles and very different personalities. Diddy was all about the flashy lifestyle and making hits, while Suge had a reputation for being, well, let's just say, a hell of a lot more intimidating. One of the most infamous moments in their feud happened at the 1995 Source Hip Hop Awards. Now Diddy and Suge were both in attendance, and tensions were running high. Then during the show, Suge took the stage and made some comments that seemed to be aimed at Diddy. Now this was like a powder keg ready to explode, and explode it did. Now not long after the award show, there was an incident at a nightclub involving both Diddy and Suge. Now witnesses say that things got heated between them, and then shots were fired. And nah, they weren't verbal shots. It's a miracle that nobody was seriously hurt, but Suge Knight did leave saying that Diddy's life's in danger for sure, which brings us to another Diddy hater, Cassie Ventura. So in a recent interview, Cassie spilled the beans about her romance with Diddy, and it was not pretty. Man, she talked about how their relationship was kind of off and on again for the better part of about 10 years.
The controversy.
Yeah.
How can we get a take of this?
Oh, I'm going to send it to you. I will email it to you.
Email me the whole thing.
Yes,
I love
yes,
it.
yes.
I love that you're constantly crushing the glass ceiling or crushing the black ceiling.
Yes.
You're one of the first. One of the first.
You know, I'm blessed to be in this industry.
Yes, and you're
I
blessed.
just try to blend it with my artistry.
Yeah, and you create that. I'm thrilled. I want to see that tomorrow.
Now there's a long time to be dealing with ups and downs, right? But here's where it starts to get messy. There were rumors floating around that Diddy wasn't always the nicest guy to Cassie. And some people said he could get pretty angry and aggressive towards her. There's currently allegations against Diddy that he physically abused her, made videos of her without her consent, and even threatened her life. There were reports that Cassie's mom called the cops on Diddy after a heated argument between them. Now reports say that the two were arguing about breaking up, and then things got heated. Now that's when Diddy got his hands on a vase and threw it straight at Cassie. You know, it's a real shame when things take a turn for the worse in a relationship, especially when it involves somebody as high profile as Diddy. And guess what? It just didn't end there either. Now Cassie even filed a lawsuit against Diddy for all of his crimes, stating that he trafficked me by forcing me to be intimate with questionable people in different cities while he filmed. That's jacked up, and that's led to feds showing up at Diddy's doorstep, searching for evidence against him tied to an investigation related to all this. Which brings us to Diddy and Jaguar Wright. Okay, so Jaguar Wright went on a social media rampage, airing out all sorts of dirty laundry about Diddy. Now, she didn't hold back. Let me tell you that right now. She made some pretty shocking claims about him and his record label, Bad Boy Records and Uptown Records. Now, first off, Jaguar dropped a bombshell about the deaths of several people associated with these record labels. She said that almost everybody who was involved with Bad Boy and Uptown ended up dead, except for Diddy and I'll Be Sure. Now, that's like something out of a conspiracy theory, right? But hold up, because it gets even wilder. See, Wright didn't stop there. She made some disturbing allegations against Diddy's behavior, and let me tell you, they are not for the faint of heart. She talked about some pretty graphic stuff, like incidents of sexual misconduct and abuse. Now, we can't say for sure if any of her claims are true, but they definitely got people talking. Even 50 Cent thought to comment on this. The feud between Diddy and 50 Cent goes way back. Now, they had their fair share of run-ins and confrontations over the years, both in public and behind closed doors. Now, one of the big issues between them has been business disputes. See, Diddy and 50 Cent are both big players in the music industry, and sometimes their interests clash. Now, there have been rumors of shady deals and backstabbing, and it's caused a lot of tension between them, which brings us to the rumors surrounding Diddy's sexuality. Now, 50 Cent hasn't been shy about stirring the pot when it comes to this topic. He's made some pretty hefty statements, like implying that Diddy might be gay or involved in some questionable relationships with other artists. In fact, on a podcast called Drink Champs, 50 didn't hold back. Now, he straight up said Puffy has got to come out. It's like he's calling Diddy out and daring him to address the rumors head on.
Does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said.
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January 9th.
That's I was like, where does Dinner Thieves get tired?
Man, and let me tell you what, it's caused quite a stir in the hip-hop community. From his rise to fame as a talented artist and savvy businessman, to the controversies and feuds that have followed him throughout his career, Diddy has certainly made a lasting impact on the music world. Throughout this exploration of Diddy's major enemies, we've seen how conflicts rooted in control, loyalty, and business ethics have shaped his relationships with other artists, industry insiders, and even close associates. Whether it's allegations of shady deals, rumors of behind-the-scenes power plays, or clashes over creative control, now these feuds have shed light on the complexities of navigating the music industry at the highest levels. Now that's it for today. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on all of this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.